At the top of the table over in League Two as Walsall remain your leaders heading into another busy weekend of action over in England's fourth tier. But who, of course, will close the gap? We're going to get into it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today is match number 20, of course, and we're looking forward to another busy set of fixtures with, of course, Walsall currently out on their own. Goodness gracious me. But will chasing back get a little bit closer or maybe even challenge for those top spots? We'll get into all of that and more in a second. If you do, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want to football, Blackburn Rovers, League Two, woo, football. We're going to all hear under one Ruski. The race for the playoffs is absolutely crazy over in League Two, and I'll showcase you what I'm talking about in just a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are, but of course, we're going to bring you back up to this. This is the League Two action, of course, double match week coming to a close, and of course, we had some stellar results this past midweek, and here they are on the screen. It all kicked off on Saturday with Colchester and Gillingham 0-0. Of course, got that one cracking. Oh, did I? That was, of course, before yeah. Anyway, kick off for Tranmere did beat Barrow. Costa Manners' job. Andrew Wing is no more for Barrow. Bromley with a 3-1 win over Crawley. I went with a 2-1 win. Cambridge and Chesterfield 1-1 in the end. Barnet with a big 4-0 win over Bristol Rovers, who are in trouble, guys. Fleetwood Town with a draw against Salford. We had Accrington with a 2-0 away win against Harrogate Town. They're also in trouble. Notts County with a 3-2 win over MK Dons. I went with a 2-1 win. Shrewsbury pulled off a point against Grimsby. Swindon losing at home to Cheltenham. All square between Crewe and Newport County. And Walsall did what they had to do and, of course, beat Oldham at Boundary Park. The table looks like this, guys. As you see it is Walsall out on top. Notts County up to second. With Swindon with that bump in the road remaining in third place. Look at Bromley. Keeping an eye on those guys. They could be in the automatics at the end of this week. MK Dons up to fifth. Cambridge in sixth. And Salford now in seventh. Going down, of course, if it was to end today, it'd be Newport, it'd be Harrogate. But look at Bristol Rovers. They are well and truly in the poo, as are Crawley and Shrewsbury Town. Cheltenham, Barrow, all those guys are in a relegation discussion as we enter the next round of games. Speaking of the next round of games, this is the link for the Super Brew. Keep on doing your thing. You know what I'm doing. And of course, we're going to hop on over to this, which is, of course, this week's end action. And it all kicks off on Saturday, December the 13th. We're going to go to Bristol Rovers, as they take on Swindon Town. That's right. Is this the Ian Holloway derby? I think he did manage Bristol Rovers way back when. Coming into this, though, Darrell Clark are 22nd with his Bristol Rovers lads. There's 17 points for them. Just one win in the last six. Up against Swindon Town under Ian Holloway. Just one defeat in the last six. That one defeat was last time around. But they're sitting in those automatic spots, third with 34 points. Coming into this, they last played at this venue in the league. It was a 3-1 win for Swindon. That was back in October 2021. That was in League Two. In fact, back-to-back wins for Swindon at this venue coming into this. They are also, though, on the back of a defeat themselves, are Swindon losing at Cheltenham. As for Bristol Rovers losing heavily to Barnet most recently. The bookies will back. They're going to back Swindon Town. I'm backing Swindon Town. Of course, 2-0 winners to continue their top three ambitions. Speaking of top three, Salford are trying to get into that conversation. They're seventh right now, and a win could do themselves a massive favour. Carl Robinson's boys are seventh with 30 points. Just one defeat in the last four. Up against Colchester and Danny Cowley, they are 10th. 28 points for them right now. Just one defeat in the last six. Now, coming into this, they last played at this venue. It was a 4-1 win for Salford back in April 2025. Salford did the double over Colchester last season. So looking to make it 3 wins on the bounce. Salford did draw with Fleetwood most recently. Colchester losing to West Ham United. Their academy guys in the Old Football League Trophy. Just back on the 9th of December there. Coming into this, though, they have not scored in the last couple of games of Colchester, but they're coming into this underdogs against a Salford side who are above them in the table by, a couple of points. So we could see Colchester leapfrog Salford with the W. I think this is a tight game, could go either way, so I've gone with a 1-1 right down the middle. Let's go to Accrington Stanley as they take on Bromley. Stanley are on the climb right here, right now, into 16th position with 24 points for them. Just one defeat in the last six. Up against Bromley under Andy Woodman. They are fourth. 33 points for them. They've won 4 of their last 6 matches. These two sides last played at Accrington back in December. However, this time last season ended up being a 2-1 win for Bromley on the road. Bromley, of course, on the back of that 3-1 win over Crawley. Stanley also winning against Harrogate Town, 2-0 winners on the road as well. Last time around in the league for Stanley, they picked up a 1-0 win over Oldham. It's actually been back-to-back wins for them in the league. Coming into this, Bromley, though, their away form is not the greatest. Coming into this on the back of a defeat to Walsall most recently. But coming at the blocks here, Bromley are favoured for the W. But I don't think so, guys. Not me. Back in Stanley. That's me, of course. Going to go with Accrington 2-1 winners over Bromley. Let's go to Cheltenham Town. They take on Harrogate, of course, relegation 6-pointer you would have right here, right now. Cheltenham under Steve Cottrell, they are 19th with 20 points. They've won 3 the last 4. Up against Harrogate under Simon Weaver, they're down into 23rd with 16 points and are coming into this with just 1 win in the last 5 matches. These two sides locking horns last time around at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for Cheltenham back in September 2024. In fact, Cheltenham have won back-to-back games against Harrogate at this venue in back-to-back encounters. Cheltenham on the back of that 1-0 win over Swindon. They've actually won 2 on the bounce here of Cheltenham, 3 of the last 4. So pretty good form for them. They've scored 7 goals in the last 2. As for Harrogate, winless since in the league anyway, at least the last 4 matches. Bookies will back Cheltenham. I've gone with the 2-0 win as well for Cheltenham to maybe make more progress up the table. Let's go to Grimsby as they take on high-flying Notts County. Nope, we're not. We're going to go to Crawley as they take on Oldham. Of course, 2 teams towards the bottom end-ish of the table. Crawley with Scott Lindsay. They're 21st right now. 17 points for them. Winless in the last 5. Up against Oldham under Mickey Mellon. Just 1 win in the last 6. They sit 17th right now. And lost 3 in the bounce of Oldham coming into this. They last played at this venue as a 2-2 draw way back in March 2022. Oldham are unbeaten against Crawley over the last 3, picking up 1 win and a couple of draws. They picked up the loss, though, against Walsall most recently. Crawley losing as well to Bromley. In fact, it's been back-to-back away defeats for Crawley. In fact, the home form ain't much better either. So they're looking to get back onto the winning train. It's tight between these two. The bookies can't really separate them. I've gone with the 1-1 draw as well between the two sides, locking horns this weekend. Let's go to Chesterfield as they take on Barnet, of course. Coming at Chesterfield. Paul Cook's boys are 9th with 29 points, but they are winless in the last 5. Up against Barnet under Dean Brennan, they are 11th with 28 points. Unbeaten in the last 5. Just 1 win, though, in the last 6. They are the Draw Kings, of course, picking up 4 draws in the last 5. They last played at this venue as a 4-2 win for Chesterfield back in November 2023. Chesterfield did the double over Barnet last time around. That was in the National League. Goodness gracious, man. They won 3 in the bounce of Chesterfield at this venue against Barnet. Coming into this, though, Chesterfield did draw with Cambridge. Barnet with a massive 4-0 winners over Bristol Rovers to put them in a bit of bother. The bookies will back Chesterfield, of course they will. In fact, scrap that, spit that out and reverse it. They're back in Barnet. What are they doing? They're crazy. You've gone with Chesterfield here with a 2-0 win in the end. Let's go to Gillingham last, right, up against Barrow. Of course, Gillingham and the Gareth Ainsworth, they sit 8th right now, 29 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Look at it a different way. Just 1 win in the last 6. They are the Draw Kings as well, picking up 4 back-to-back-to-back draws, of course. Andrew Wing, no longer there at Barrow, 18th at the table, 20 points for them. Winless in at least the last 6 matches. And again, they are on a bit of a free fall coming into this. They last played at Gillingham. It was a 2-0 win for the Gills back in September 2024. The Gills are on the back of 4 successive draws. They've got the whole 4-pack here. They've got a 0-0, they've got a 1-1, they've got a 2-2, and they've got a 3-3. Will this be a 4-4 or will it be something else? Barrow losing to Tranmere most recently. The bookies are back in Gillingham. I'm back in Gillingham. I'm going with just the 1-0 win. Maybe a bit of a response there from Barrow under the new regime. Grimsby coming at you against Notts County at Blundell Park. David Artell's Grimsby are 13th right now, 27 points for them. Just 1 win in the last 6. Notts County and Martin Petterson, they're up to 2nd. Goodness gracious me. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. They are flying 34 points at the moment. They last played at Grimsby. It was a 2-0 win for Notts County back in March 2025. Grimsby haven't won in the last 4 against them, including 3 wins for Notts County and that 5-5 thriller way back in January 2024. Let's get a bit of that action. Shrewsbury, Grimsby are on the back of that 4-0 win over Wealdstone last time around at home. As for Notts County, they picked up a 3-2 win on the at home themselves most recently. Their last away trip was a 1-0 win at Bristol Rovers. The bookies are back in Grimsby at home for this one. I'm going with Notts County, who are flying high. That's right, 2-1 winners. Notts County. Into the final stretch as we go. It's MK Dons. They're taking on Cambridge at the Stadium MK. Paul Wands at MK Dons are 5th. 32 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Cambridge. Under Neil Harris, they sit 6th right now with 30 points. Just 1 defeat in the last 6 matches. They last played at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for MK Dons. That was back in March 2023. MK Dons coming out on top with the W. They've actually won 3 in the bounce against Cambridge at this venue, conceding just the 1 goal, scoring 11 against Cambridge in those last 3 matches. MK Dons losing Notts County most recently. 3 wins on the bounce for them in all competitions at home, though. As for Cambridge, they picked up the draw against Chesterfield most recently, but the hosts, MK Dons, favoured here. Going to go with a 2-0 win as well for MK Dons. Final 3, it's Newport County, who are struggling bottom of the pile right now with Christian Fuchs in charge. 24th, 13 points up against Fleetwood Town and a Pete Wild. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. They're 14th and 27 points at the moment. They last played at this venue. It was a 0-0 draw way back in October 2024. In fact, back-to-back 0-0 draws at this venue. Newport have not beaten Fleetwood in the last 3 at this venue. Haven't scored a goal against them as well in Wales. Meanwhile, though, Fleetwood are on the back of that 2-2 away draw to Crewe. As for Fleetwood, they also drew with Salford most recently. The bookies are back in Fleetwood here. I'm back in Fleetwood as well to smash and grab the 1-0 win. And again, start to come up through. And don't rule them out. They're also in the mixer for those playoffs. Next up is Tranmere against Crewe. Tranmere under Andrew Crosby sit 15th with 26 points, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They're looking good form-wise. Crewe, though, under Lee Bell, they are 12th with 28 points, winless in the last 5 matches. They're coming into this having played each other last time around at this venue. 2-0 winners it was for Tranmere back in April 2025. Tranmere on the back of that 3-0 away win to Barrow. It's been back-to-back away wins for Tranmere coming into this. So Crewe, back-to-back home matches without a win. And again, winless in the last 5. The bookies are going to back Tranmere, but only just airtight between the two sides. Gone with the 1-1 down the middle. And then finally, we got a tabletopper's Walsall. That's right. At their best, got Matt Sadler's boys are top with 38 points. They've won 5 on the bounce. Against the Shrewsbury side under Michael Apton, they are 20th, 18 points, just 1 defeat in the last 5. They last played competitively in the league, should we say, at Walsall. It was in League One back in October 2018. Walsall on the back of 4-5 successive wins. Looking pretty good at the moment. As for Shrewsbury, they picked up the draw against Grimsby most recently. But of course, bookies are back in Walsall, who are flying high and could get it right this time. Going to go with a 3-1 win, Walsall. And if I'm right, guys and girls, this is what the table will look like at the end of the weekend. It will be Walsall at the top. Am I did that right? No, I haven't. What the fuck is this shite? Oh, for fuck's sakes, man. And if I'm right, folks, this is what the table will look like. Of course, Walsall will remain leaders. Notts County are in second place with Swindon in third. MK Dons up to fourth, Bromley fifth, Gillingham sixth, and Chesterfield are seventh. Going down, Newport and Harrogate. Not much change down the foot of the table. That is what I've got. Make sure, of course, you smash the like and smash the subscribe. We'll be back next time around, of course, as we get into the mixer here with the old festive fixtures. Until then, I'll see you soon. Whenever I return, we're done.